My beloved brothers and sisters, in every corner of the world, there are people whose lives are filled with challenges, temptations, and unseen dangers. Yet, there are some who walk through this life, as though wrapped in a cloak of divine protection. Among them are women whom Allah shields from the harm of evil people. This is not by coincidence. It is by faith, by character, and by the choices they make every single day. I want you to picture a woman you may have met before, perhaps in your family, perhaps in your neighborhood. She is not the loudest, not the one seeking attention, but her presence brings calm, her smile brings peace, and her words carry weight. This is a woman protected by Allah, and the signs of His care are written all over her life. The first sign is her unwavering connection with Allah. She knows that her worth is not determined by people's opinions but by her Creator's pleasure. She wakes before dawn, raising her hands in dua when the world is asleep, seeking strength from the one who never sleeps. The second sign is modesty, not just in the way she dresses, but in the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, and the way she interacts with others. Her dignity acts like armor, making it difficult for evil to approach her. The third is a pure heart. She does not harbor hatred or jealousy. Even when wronged, she refuses to be consumed by bitterness. She chooses to forgive when she can, and to leave justice to Allah when she cannot. This purity keeps her safe from many traps laid by harmful people. The fourth sign is her circle of good company. She surrounds herself with people who lift her higher, who remind her of Allah, who protect her honor in her absence. She understands that your friends can either be your ladder or your downfall. The fifth is wisdom in speech. She knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Her words are never weapons of destruction, they are tools of healing. This wisdom builds respect and disarms those who wish her harm. The sixth is patience in hardship. She understands that life's trials are not punishments, but opportunities to grow closer to Allah. This patience frustrates those who try to break her spirit, because they cannot shake her trust in her Lord. The seventh is her commitment to dua. She prays for protection, for guidance, for goodness, not just for herself, but for her loved ones and even for those who may have wronged her. Dua is her shield, her fortress, and her constant companion. And the eighth sign, perhaps the most beautiful of all, is her complete trust in Allah's plan. She does not chase after what has been taken from her. She does not beg for the approval of those who disrespect her. She walks away from what displeases Allah, believing with certainty that He will replace it with something infinitely better. My brothers and sisters, these women are not made by luck or fate. They are made by choices, small, consistent choices, rooted in faith. And here is the truth, you and I can embody these qualities too. Whether you are a man or a woman, the formula is the same. Strengthen your connection with Allah, live with dignity, keep your heart pure, choose your company wisely, speak with wisdom, be patient, hold on to dua, and trust the plan of the Almighty. Because when you live this way, you walk under a protection that no evil can penetrate. You live with a peace that no one can take away, and you inspire a future that is brighter than the past. Let us rise together, protect our hearts, and build a world where goodness is stronger than evil, and faith is stronger than fear. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest mistakes we can make in life is to place our worth in the hands of people. This world is filled with opinions. They are cheap, plentiful, and they change like the wind. Today they praise you, tomorrow they may mock you. They clap for you when you meet their expectations, but turn their backs when you no longer serve their interests. If your happiness depends on the shifting tides of human approval, you will always be at the mercy of storms. But there is an anchor that never moves, a foundation that never cracks, and that is the pleasure of Allah. The moment you root your identity, your purpose, and your value in Him, you step into a freedom that most people never experience. No insult can reduce you, and no praise can inflate you beyond what is true. Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you." 49:1-3. This is a powerful reminder that your worth is not tied to your appearance, wealth, titles, or popularity. The world may value beauty, fame and power, but Allah values righteousness, sincerity and faith. What matters to Him is the purity of your heart, the truth in your intentions, and the consistency of your obedience. A strong connection with Allah is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It is nurtured over time. In the quiet hours before dawn when you rise to pray while the world sleeps, in the patience you show when wrong, in the courage to speak truth when it is difficult, in the humility to seek forgiveness when you have erred. These acts, seemingly small, weave together into a bond between you and your Creator that cannot be broken by the schemes of any person. When you live in this state of connection, you begin to notice something profound. The power that evil people once had over you fades. Their attempts to manipulate you fail, because you no longer hunger for their approval. Their hurtful words lose their sting, because you understand they cannot define you. And even if they try to harm you, you trust that Allah will turn their plots into blessings in disguise. I have met women who embody this truth. They are not untouchable because of wealth or status, but because of the strength of their faith. They walk into a room not seeking attention, yet their dignity commands respect. They speak little, but their words are thoughtful and uplifting. They are content whether praised or criticized, because their hearts are already full from the love of their Creator. Such women are not swayed by trends, flattery, or intimidation. Their compass is fixed on Allah, and it does not waver. This is divine protection. It does not mean a life without challenges. Rather, it means that when difficulties come, they cannot destroy your spirit. It means Allah guides your steps away from hidden traps, removes harmful people from your path, and replaces what you lose with something far better. It means your heart remains at peace even when the world around you is in chaos. My brothers and sisters, this connection with Allah is available to every single one of us. But we must make the choice to pursue it. We must prioritize His pleasure over fleeting human approval. We must speak to Him daily, not just in formal prayer, but in heartfelt conversation. We must ask Him to guide our actions, protect our hearts, and keep our intentions pure. And when we live this way, something remarkable happens. The people who are meant to be in our lives will respect us for who we truly are, and the people who seek to harm us will find themselves powerless, because our worth, our strength, and our safety come from the One who controls all hearts, all destinies, and all outcomes. So, measure yourself not by the eyes of the crowd, but by the gaze of your Lord. Live in a way that earns His pleasure, and you will carry a shield that no evil can penetrate. That, my dear brothers and sisters, is the ultimate protection. My beloved brothers and sisters, in today's world, modesty is often misunderstood. Many see it as a limitation, a restriction, or even a weakness. They say, if you don't show yourself, people won't notice you. If you don't speak loudly, your voice will be lost. If you don't reveal, you will be forgotten. But the truth is far deeper. Modesty is not about hiding yourself because you are unworthy. It is about protecting yourself because you are precious. Think of a diamond. No jeweler leaves a diamond unprotected on the street corner. It is kept safe in a case, displayed with care, guarded so that only those who value it truly can approach it. Your dignity, your honor, and your purity are more valuable than any diamond, and modesty is the case that keeps them safe. When Allah commands modesty in the Quran, it is not to diminish you but to elevate you. It is to ensure that you are respected for your mind, your values, your faith, not just your outward appearance. The world often reduces people, especially women, to physical features. But Islam teaches us to rise above that, to be known for the beauty of our character, the depth of our wisdom, and the purity of our heart. Modesty is not only in clothing, though that is an important part, but in how you speak, how you walk, how you carry yourself. A modest person doesn't use their voice to harm or provoke, but to uplift and inspire. They don't seek to dominate attention, but to use their presence to bring calm and goodness. This quiet strength confuses those who rely on superficial charm to gain influence. And here's where the protection comes in. A modest woman is harder to target for evil purposes. Manipulators, predators, and people with ill intentions often look for openings, vanity, desperation for attention, or willingness to compromise values. But modesty closes those doors. When you dress with dignity, when your speech is respectful, when your behavior reflects self-respect, you send a silent message. I am not available for disrespect, and I will not be drawn into what displeases Allah. I have met women whose modesty was their armor. They were not timid, they were not weak. They were confident, but their confidence came from a higher place. They could enter a room and command respect without saying a single word. They could participate in conversations without gossip, laugh without vulgarity, and express themselves without arrogance. People may not always agree with them, but they always respected them. We must remember that modesty also protects the heart. When you choose modesty, you are telling yourself, I answer to Allah first. This keeps your intentions pure. You no longer dress, speak, or act to please people, but to please your Creator. And when you live like this, your self-worth no longer rises or falls based on people's comments, likes, or stares. You walk with dignity because you know who you are in the sight of Allah. And this is why Allah's Messenger said, modesty is part of faith. Sahih Muslim. Faith protects you from sin, and modesty protects your faith. They work hand in hand. Remove modesty, and the heart becomes exposed to influences that slowly chip away at faith. Keep modesty, and your heart stays strong against the currents of this world. Some will mock your modesty. They will say you are outdated, irrelevant, or invisible. But history has shown that trends fade, beauty changes, and fame disappears. What remains is character. And character is shaped by discipline, by self-respect, and by the constant awareness that Allah is watching. My brothers and sisters, modesty is not about oppression. It is about empowerment. It is not about hiding. It is about shining in a way that does not burn you. It is about protecting your most precious qualities, so that they remain for the right people, in the right place, at the right time. So let us embrace modesty with pride. Let it be the silent strength that walks with us in every room, the shield that protects us from the ill intentions of others, and the sign that our hearts belong to Allah before anyone else. For when you carry yourself with true modesty, you carry a protection that no evil can break. My beloved brothers and sisters, we live in a world where bitterness is everywhere. People hurt each other, sometimes without reason. Envy spreads like wildfire. Jealousy eats away at friendships, families, and communities. Hatred builds walls where bridges once stood. And in the middle of all this, Allah tells us to keep our hearts pure. Why? Because the heart is the control center of your life. When it is pure, it guides you toward peace, justice, and truth. When it is polluted with envy, hatred, and grudges, it drags you into misery. Even if your life looks perfect on the outside, a heart that is free from hatred and jealousy is not just a blessing for your soul. It is also one of the strongest protections Allah can give you against evil people. You see, harmful people often succeed by feeding on the weakness of others. They exploit anger, they fuel jealousy, they encourage division. But if your heart is clean, they cannot plant those seeds inside you. If you don't harbor ill feelings, their provocations fall flat. If you don't envy what they have, they cannot lure you into a trap. Think of a calm, clear lake. Throw a stone into it, and the ripples disappear quickly. Now think of a lake already filled with waves and dirt. Add one more disturbance, and it becomes a storm. A pure heart is like the calm lake. No matter how much others try to stir trouble, your peace returns quickly, because you are not carrying the extra weight of grudges and envy. Purity of heart doesn't mean you are blind to wrongdoing. It doesn't mean you allow people to harm you repeatedly. Rather, it means you deal with wrongs in a way that does not poison your soul. You can take precautions, set boundaries, and protect yourself, all without letting hatred live inside you. The Prophet Muhammad taught us a beautiful dua. Allah, remove from our hearts any hatred for those who believe. This is not just a prayer for unity. It is a request for protection. Because when your heart is free from hatred, evil people cannot use division to control you. I have met women who embody this. They have been betrayed, yet they do not seek revenge. They have seen others rise while they struggle, yet they do not envy. They choose to wish others well and to focus on their own path. These women radiate a kind of peace that even those who dislike them cannot deny. And when you carry such peace, Allah Himself becomes your defender. Jealousy, on the other hand, is a disease that eats away at your blessings. The Prophet warned us, beware of jealousy, for verily it destroys good deeds the way fire destroys wood. Abu Dawood. If we allow jealousy to live in our hearts, we give evil people the easiest weapon to harm us, because they can manipulate that envy to turn us against each other. So how do we protect our hearts? First, by constantly making dua that Allah purifies them. Second, by focusing on gratitude. When you are busy counting your blessings, you have no time to envy someone else's. Third, by remembering that Allah's plan for you is perfect. What someone else has was never meant to be yours, and what is meant for you will reach you no matter who tries to stop it. And remember this, a pure heart attracts pure company. People of sincerity will feel safe around you, and people of malice will find no place in your life. That is how purity becomes a shield. It pushes away the toxic and draws near the trustworthy. My brothers and sisters, your heart is your most valuable asset. Guard it. Don't let anyone's actions turn it dark. Don't let anyone's success make you bitter. Don't let anyone's words plant envy in your soul. For when your heart is pure, you are already under the protection of the most merciful, and no evil plan can truly harm you. My beloved brothers and sisters, life is a journey, and no matter how strong you think you are, no matter how independent you believe yourself to be, you cannot walk this path alone. Every single one of us is influenced by the people around us. Our friends, our colleagues, our companions, even the voices we choose to listen to online or in our communities. This is why the Prophet Muhammad gave us one of the most profound pieces of advice. A person is upon the religion of his close friend, so let one of you look at whom he befriends. Abu Dawood, Tirmidhi. Think about that for a moment. Your faith, your character, your habits, they are shaped by the company you keep. If you surround yourself with people who remind you of Allah, who inspire you to do good, who encourage you to stay patient and hopeful, you will find yourself naturally moving toward Him. But if your circle is filled with those who drag you toward gossip, sin, arrogance, or ingratitude, you will find your own heart darkening, even without realizing it. You and I both know that influence is powerful. You could be a person of strong values, but if you are constantly exposed to negativity, to temptation, to harmful habits, those influences will slowly erode your resolve. And this is where divine protection plays a role. One of the signs that Allah is protecting a woman from evil people is that He guides her to righteous company. People who lift her up, shield her from harm, and guard her reputation in her absence. I have seen examples of this in real life. A sister once told me how she had been in a toxic circle for years. They made fun of her faith. They laughed at her values. They encouraged her to compromise her principles, just a little, to fit in. She thought she could remain strong and unaffected, but over time, she found herself slipping, skipping prayers, adopting their habits, and even feeling ashamed of her beliefs. It wasn't until Allah placed a new friend in her life, someone who truly cared for her spiritual growth, that she began to return to herself. That one friend became the rope that pulled her out of darkness. This is why it's not enough to simply avoid bad company. You must actively seek good company. Find people who remind you of Allah without even speaking His name, because their character itself is a reminder. Find those who celebrate your successes without envy, who correct your mistakes without humiliation, who pray for you without you even knowing. Good friends are a shield against evil people. Why? Because harmful people thrive in isolation. They want to cut you off from support, to make you feel like they are your only source of approval or validation. But when you have a healthy, God-conscious circle, you are never alone. If someone tries to deceive you, your friends will notice. If someone tries to manipulate you, your friends will warn you. If someone tries to harm you, your friends will stand between you and the harm. The Quran paints a beautiful picture of righteous companionship in Surah Al-Kahf. The young men of the cave, the Ashab, Kahf, were united in faith. They fled together, protected each other, and Allah honored their unity. This is a lesson for us. Faith is easier to protect when you walk alongside those who share it. On the other hand, bad company can become your greatest downfall. Look at the story of Qarun, the man blessed with immense wealth. Surrounded by flatterers and greedy companions, he became arrogant, forgetting the source of his blessings. His company fed his ego until he was destroyed. Imagine if he had been surrounded by the humble and the grateful. His ending might have been different. There is also the reality that your closest friends are often your mirror. If you want to know where your heart truly is, look at who you choose to spend your time with. Do they bring you closer to Allah, or further away? Do they remind you of your prayers or distract you from them? Do they encourage you to be generous or selfish? Do they help you forgive or feed your grudges? And here's something powerful. Good company doesn't just protect you in this life, it will protect you in the next. On the day of judgment, people will be gathered with those they loved. The Prophet said, "You will be with those whom you love." Sahih Bukhari Muslim. Imagine standing before Allah and being grouped with people whose lives were spent in worship, kindness, and service, all because you chose to love and walk with them in this life. My dear sisters, if Allah has blessed you with friends who make you better, protect that gift. Make dua for them. Support them. Be for them what they are for you. And if you find yourself surrounded by people who pull you down, have the courage to distance yourself, even if it's painful. The temporary loneliness of leaving bad company is far better than the permanent damage of staying in it. Some people fear being alone, so they cling to harmful relationships. But I tell you, this solitude with Allah is sweeter than companionship with those who distance you from Him. And when you choose Him over them, He will replace them with better. This is His promise. So let us choose our company with wisdom. Let us be the type of friends who guide, protect, and uplift, so that we ourselves become a source of Allah's protection for others. Because when your circle is pure, your path becomes clear. And when your path is clear, the traps of evil people become visible from a distance. Remember, your friends can be your ladder or your downfall. Choose those who help you climb toward Jannah, and you will find that even in this world, you are walking in the safety of Allah's shade. My beloved brothers and sisters, life will not always go as we plan. We set goals. We dream of certain outcomes. We pray for specific opportunities. Yet there are times when Allah, in His infinite wisdom, closes a door we desperately wanted to walk through. In those moments, we are tested. Our faith is not proven when life gives us everything we ask for. Our faith is proven when life denies us something, and we still say, Alhamdulillah, I trust that my Rabb knows best. Trusting Allah's plan is not a passive surrender. It is an active choice to believe that His knowledge, His vision, and His care for you far surpass anything you could imagine for yourself. It is choosing to walk away from what displeases Him, no matter how tempting it seems, because you know that His path leads to something purer, safer, and more lasting. I once met a sister whose story still inspires me. She had a promising career opportunity that required her to compromise her modesty and her prayer times. The salary was tempting, the prestige was undeniable, and her family was pressuring her to accept. But deep in her heart, she knew that stepping into that role meant stepping away from Allah's commands, so she turned it down. People thought she was foolish, but within months, another opportunity opened, one that not only paid better, but aligned perfectly with her values. She told me, with tears in her eyes, if I had taken the first job, I would have lost myself. Allah saved me by giving me the strength to say no. This is the reality of divine protection. Sometimes Allah shields you from harm not by removing you from a dangerous situation, but by giving you the clarity and courage to walk away before it traps you. Trust in His plan is the anchor that keeps you steady in the storm of temptation. When a woman truly trusts Allah, she understands that every delay, every rejection, every closed door is either a shield or a redirection. How many times have we cried over something we thought was good for us, only to realize years later that it would have harmed us deeply? How many times has Allah replaced something we lost with something far better than we imagined? The Quran reminds us. But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:6. This verse is not just a comfort. It is a command to trust. It tells us plainly your knowledge is limited. His is infinite. Your perspective is narrow. His sees the full picture. So when you walk away from what displeases Him, you are not losing. You are making space for what will truly benefit you. But here is the challenge: trust requires patience, and patience is one of the most difficult qualities to cultivate. We live in an age of instant gratification. If something doesn't happen now, we assume it never will. Yet Allah's timing is perfect, and often, the delay is the protection. The job offer that doesn't come through, the relationship that doesn't work out, the plan that falls apart. These may be Allah placing you on a safer path, even if it feels like a setback. I have seen sisters who, after trusting Allah through heartbreak, found themselves in far more fulfilling marriages. I have seen women who lost opportunities, only to find better ones that allowed them to practice their faith freely. And I have seen people who, because they refused to compromise their deen, gained a level of peace and self-respect that no worldly gain could match. Trust in Allah's plan also transforms your mindset. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what is Allah teaching me through this? Instead of clinging desperately to what you want, you open your hands for what He wants to give you. And believe me, His gifts are always worth the wait. This trust is not only spiritual, it is a form of emotional and psychological protection from evil people. Why? Because when your reliance is on Allah, you are not desperate for validation from others. You cannot be easily manipulated, bribed, or coerced into sin. People lose their way when they believe that their sustenance, their happiness, or their success lies in the hands of other human beings. But when you know, without a shadow of doubt, that everything you need is with Allah, you become untouchable in the most beautiful way. Evil people prey on desperation. They lure with false promises, they pressure with deadlines, they manipulate with fear. But when your heart says, my rizq comes from Allah, my honor comes from Allah, my future is in Allah's hands, those traps lose their power over you. You can walk away from a toxic relationship, an unethical job, a harmful deal. Because you know you are not walking into emptiness, you are walking into the care of the one who never abandons you. The stories of the prophets are full of moments where trust in Allah led to unimaginable blessings. Think of Hajar as, left in the desert with her infant son. There was no water, no food, no shelter. Yet she trusted Allah's command. And through her perseverance came the well of Zamzam, a source of life that flows to this very day. That is the power of trust. It turns a barren desert into a river of blessings. And so, my dear sisters, if you ever find yourself standing at a crossroads, one path leading to something that pleases Allah, and the other leading to something that displeases Him, choose the first, even if it looks harder, even if it feels like you are walking away from comfort, security, or love. Because the reality is this: you are not walking away from anything, you are walking towards something far greater. And remember this: the reward of trusting Allah is not only in the hereafter, it is also in this world. He replaces the haram with halal, the harmful with the beneficial, the empty with the fulfilling. He gives you peace that no amount of wealth can buy, dignity that no title can replace, and love that no human can take away. So let us be among those who trust His plan fully. Let us train our hearts to say, if this is from Allah, it will come to me. If it is not from Allah, I don't want it. Let us walk away from what displeases Him with the certainty that every step away from sin is a step toward safety, blessings, and His eternal protection. Because when you put your trust in Allah, you are never really letting go. You are simply placing your hand in the hand of the One who will guide you to where you were always meant to be.